Playing horror games at night sounds like a good idea, until it's not. Some of these games don't just scare you, they mess with your head. If you're brave enough, here are 20 dangerous horror games you should never play at night. Midnight here, let's begin. Starting with The Quarry. A group of 9 camp counselors arrive for one last night at Hackett's Quarry. Their time is supposed to be fun and carefree, until the party becomes a nightmare. Developed by Supermassive Games, The Quarry is less about shooting monsters and more about decisions and the cost of every wrong move. The gameplay leans into interactive horror. You'll make choices for each character that shift relationships and shape who lives or dies. Quick time events, branching paths, and even a movie mode invite you to experience the story like a horror film. The setting, retro 80s-style camp, creepy cabins, dark forest trails, helps sell the tension without resorting to cheap scares. What makes The Quarry stand out? It trades power for dread. You're not invincible. One wrong decision, one delayed reaction, and those familiar characters you liked just vanish.
What? There is a lot more to this than you realize.
Like what?
Kidnapping, murder, cover-ups. I think the whole Hackett family is in on it.
You have no idea what's going on here. Not a goddamn clue. All right, let's do this.
Who should I call?
911.
You mean 911? Who says 911?
Goodbye, cruel world.
We gotta get out. I'm gonna enjoy watching you die.
This isn't a ghost story. It's a creature feature. It's really happening, and you're all in it.
This is gonna get a little messy.
The bar is closed, but I don't think anyone will ask us to leave. Come, join me.
What is all this?
Magnificent. Don't you think?
Our work is to save them, not admire them.
People listened to music once and told each other stories. Unfortunately, the whole thing was not preserved.
Don't shoot!
This is how I do my own part in saving them.
Developed by Bloober Team, Cronos The New Dawn drops its setting between a ruined future and the past's secrets. In a world torn apart by an apocalyptic event called The Change, you take the role of a traveler sent by a mysterious collective. The mission? Dive into time rifts, go back to 1980s Poland, pull key people out, and stop Monstrous. The game uses a third-person perspective with tight survival horror mechanics. Guns and melee weapons exist. If you defeat an enemy and leave it to rot, it can merge with corpses and come back stronger. The gameplay borrows mechanics from Dead Space and Resident Evil 4, mixing tension with fast, close-range combat. What makes Cronos The New Dawn stand out is how it weaves its story into the gameplay. The further you go, the more you question who's hunting who and what the traveler really is.
And with this being a creepy ghost story, I figured I could get an exclusive. I heard this place is haunted.
Kids these days, nothing seems to scare them. If it's before midnight, they can do whatever the hell they want.
No doors or windows? She just disappeared. Bizarre. Let's go, man. Let's go.
He's a liar. What the hell happened here? It's midnight. There's a really scary ghost down there. If he hears us...
You think I'm just going to let you leave me?
Late night at university, the film club decides to shoot a viral horror project in the infamous Duren building. But what began as a prank in the dark becomes something real. Developed by Softstar Entertainment, The Bridge Curse 2 drops you into this haunted campus where 4 characters, a reporter and 3 students, get more than they bargained for. The gameplay focuses on atmosphere, puzzles, and survival without heavy combat. Explore winding hallways, use a lantern to push away ghosts, gather clues on phones and in notebooks, and solve logic puzzles that link the ghost stories to the reality of the night. What stands out is how the game blends Taiwanese folklore, haunted university legends, and ghost tropes into a tighter package. The build-up is slow, the scares deliberate. You're not just hiding from something, you're figuring out why it's there. Caroline Walker thought the nightmare ended. Her sister Anna had been through enough. But months after the events at Wildberger Hospital, Anna starts drawing violent visions. Those drawings begin to bleed into reality. Caroline travels to Villa Hesse in the Chilean mountains to help her, and what she finds is far worse than fear. This sequel leans into survival horror like it's 1998 all over again. The camera can lock into fixed angles. The ammo is limited. Save rooms and tank controls return alongside modern upgrades. The plot isn't just about monsters, it's about guilt, the bond between sisters, and the price of silence. By the time you face the truth of Villa Hesse, the fear doesn't wrap up neatly. It lingers in the gaps, the spaces you skipped, the truths you ignored, the sister you couldn't save.
Can I just say how very happy I am to finally have you with us? Isabella has told us all about you, especially you, little one.
Anna's been through a lot.
We can help her with that. Soon, she will fear nothing.
God, she's dead.
This damn place can bring out the darkness in our heart.
Did you do this?
You have no idea how powerful it is.
My name's Caroline.
You don't look like one of the locals.
My name's Miguel. I'm looking for someone too. Maybe we should team up.
Anna still has a role to play in this story, just as you do. And this is your destiny.
Alan Wake 2 picks up 13 years after the original game. The town of Bright Falls is no longer just a backdrop. It's become part of the nightmare. 2 stories run in parallel. FBI agent Saga Anderson investigating ritual murders, and writer Alan Wake trapped in a dark dimension where his own stories shape reality. The gameplay blends survival horror with detective mechanics. Flashlight and gun become lifelines. Ammo is limited. Darkness hides something worse than monsters. You switch between Alan's descent into the dark place and Saga's investigation in the real world, then link clues in her mind place, an unsettling, off-map space where you piece together threads of the horror. By the end, you don't just walk away having defeated something, you walk away changed. Alan Wake 2 asks, who writes the nightmare and who gets trapped inside it?
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley.
The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale.
So you knew our victim?
Only the rumors. He was chasing a writer.
Someone knew they were here. Was playing a game with them.
The killer left a message.
It's for us. The text is about us.
We were all trapped in a horror story.
I suffer no bondage but this rotting, weak, pathetic corpse. Look at me! Look at this pitiful flesh I am service to. But this body is no longer mine.
The Mortuary Assistant puts you in one of the most uncomfortable jobs ever, working alone in a funeral home at night. You play as Rebecca Owens, a new mortuary science graduate starting her first shift at Riverfield's mortuary. It starts off normal, just cleaning bodies and doing the usual procedures. But when the door locks behind you, things start to feel wrong. Developed by Darkstone Digital, the game mixes realistic embalming simulation with psychological horror. You'll have to figure out which corpse is possessed by performing tasks, collecting clues, and burning the right one before it's too late. What makes this game hit harder at night is how real it feels. The lighting, the tiny room sounds, even the flicker of the monitor, everything builds a slow, constant tension. There aren't many jump scares, just that crawling fear that something is behind you. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater takes you to Mount Hikami, a place filled with ghost stories, disappearances, and tragic rituals tied to water. You follow 3 characters, Yuri, Ren, and Miyu, each drawn to the mountain for their own reasons. Yuri can see and pull souls back from the shadow world. Ren investigates strange legends for his book, and Miyu searches for her missing mother. Their stories slowly connect as they uncover what really happened during the ritual known as the Black Water, where shrine maidens were sacrificed to contain dark spirits. Gameplay centers on the camera obscura, a camera that captures ghosts and weakens them when you photograph them at the right moment, the Fatal Frame. What makes it intense is how fragile you feel. You have no weapons, only your camera and your instincts. The game also uses a unique wetness system. The more soaked you get, the stronger and more aggressive the spirits become, making even small mistakes feel costly.
Let's go home.
You cannot leave the mountain.
死の山、幽魂、神隠し。3人の主人公はそれぞれの思いを胸に氷上山に秘められた儀式の謎に迫っていく。美しき恐怖、再び。
Scorn drops you into a world that doesn't make sense at first. A vast, grotesque biomechanical nightmare where walls feel like flesh. You're a hairless humanoid, waking up with no memory, and you have to move through interconnected zones like the field, the assembly, the crater, and Polis. The gameplay mixes exploration and puzzles with sudden bursts of combat. You'll switch between organic weapons, like a captive bolt melee tool, an alien pistol, a shotgun-type weapon, or an implosive grenade launcher, each one attached to a modular base you manage. What pushes this into the should never play at night category? The atmosphere hits differently in the dark. Everything is drenched in uneasy silence, weird ambient sounds, and visuals that feel alive in their horror. You're not just afraid of monsters, your fear comes from the world itself. Silent Hill F sets its scene in the 1960s Japan, in a quiet rural town called Ebisugaoka that's covered by fog and silence. You play as Hinako Shimizu, a high school girl caught between family pressure and strange, rising horrors. This entry is developed by NeoBards Entertainment and published by Konami Digital Entertainment, built with Unreal Engine 5 and leaning harder into melee combat and puzzle-driven exploration than many past titles. Instead of heavy firearms, Hinako wields a melee weapon and must learn to time attacks, block, and counter. The fog doesn't just hide monsters, it turns streets into mirrors of memory, and the soundtrack uses ancient Japanese court music echoes to amplify dread. The game asks you to confront isolation, identity, and unreal terror in an environment that seems safe in daylight and deadly when the light fades.
Hey, the outsider!
There's something about being lost in the middle of nowhere that makes fear hit harder. Outlast 2 takes that feeling and pushes it to the edge. You play as Blake Langerman, a cameraman investigating a strange murder case with his wife. When your helicopter crashes in the Arizona desert, you wake up alone, injured, and surrounded by a doomsday cult that believes you're part of their prophecy. Developed by Red Barrels, this sequel trades the asylum halls of the first game for wide-open environments. Cornfields, mines, caves, and burned-out villages that feel endless in the dark. You have no weapons, only your camera, and its night vision mode that drains batteries fast. What makes Outlast 2 so brutal to play at night is how real the panic feels. There's nowhere to hide for long, no way to fight back, and the line between reality and hallucination keeps breaking apart. Pneumata puts you in the role of Detective David Hernandez, a man investigating a series of disappearances inside a decaying apartment complex called Clover Hill. What starts as a normal case quickly unravels into something far darker. The building's walls bleed, rooms shift, and every door feels like it leads somewhere you shouldn't be. The deeper you go, the more the world bends around you, twisting memories, hallucinations. Pneumata blends psychological horror with survival mechanics. You'll search for clues, manage limited ammo, and decide when to fight or hide as strange entities stalk the halls. The atmosphere traps you in a loop of dread. You move slowly and start to question if you're really alone. It doesn't rely on cheap jump scares. Instead, it breaks you down with isolation and the feeling that the building itself is watching.
Memories, they come and go as they please. I'll die in these woods. My best shot here is finding a way to call for...
Developed by Bluedius Games, Madison is a psychological horror experience built entirely around one terrifying idea: that a single old camera can connect the living and the dead. You play as Luca, a young man who wakes up alone in his house, covered in blood, and forced to complete a ritual started by a serial killer decades earlier. The camera is your only tool and your biggest curse. You'll use it to reveal hidden clues, open new paths, and expose what's stalking you. The puzzles tie into the story in unsettling ways, asking you to explore graves, churches, and family secrets that feel too personal. What makes Madison hit so hard at night is how intimate it feels. You're not fighting monsters or running endlessly, you're piecing together a nightmare one photograph at a time. This one comes from Frictional Games, the studio that gave us Amnesia and Soma. In the bunker, you're Henri Clément, a French soldier stuck during World War I inside a sealed-up underground bunker. The exits collapsed, the others are gone, and something monstrous is hunting you through the dark tunnels. Gameplay flips the usual hide-and-run formula by adding resource management and semi-open exploration. You'll have a noisy dynamo flashlight, scarce ammo, grenades, and a cranky revolver that reloads slowly. There's a generator you must keep fueled. Once the lights go, so does your safety. The monster doesn't follow a fixed path. The world punishes complacency. Stay too long in the dark, the lights fail, the monster hunts. If you start this one night and hear a distant rumble in your house, maybe turn it off.
This chase has been entertaining. But even the greatest entertainments must come to an end.
Enough art school bullshit. Where is she?
We have the same goal, Sebastian. We can help each other. Join me.
Keep shooting until they're dead or we run out of ammo.
Once I have the power of the core, you will be truly free.
Are you all right?
Why wouldn't I be all right?
Sebastian Castellanos has already seen hell once, but The Evil Within 2 drags him right back into it. His daughter, Lily, thought to be dead, is actually trapped inside STEM, a machine-built world meant to create peace, but now twisted into a living nightmare. To save her, Sebastian has to dive into Union, a city that looks normal at first, but slowly tears itself apart. This sequel mixes classic survival horror with new freedom. You can sneak, craft, and explore open zones while managing scarce ammo and health. Every encounter feels risky. Sometimes running is smarter than fighting. The monsters aren't just gruesome, they represent Sebastian's guilt and trauma, giving each area a psychological edge. What really defines The Evil Within 2 is the tension between control and chaos. You're free to explore, yet trapped by what's inside your mind. It starts with an outbreak and a father's broken promise. The Last of Us Part 1 drops you into a broken America overrun by infected humans and the remains of what used to be society. You play as Joel, a hardened survivor tasked with escorting Ellie, a girl whose immunity might be the world's only hope. Developed by Naughty Dog and rebuilt from the ground up for modern hardware, controls are smoother, encounters redesigned, and the story is the same. You'll feel every scene as if it's your own memory, or your own failure. The world doesn't just look broken, you look broken inside it. No easy escapes, no cinematic bloom hiding the terror. This isn't horror that jumps out at you. It drags you into a world where you're making hard choices, feeling responsibility, and confronting loss. It stays with you after you shut the console off.
Take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
I get in trouble down there. You make every shot count.
I got this.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
Resident Evil 7. You begin the game as Ethan Winters, an ordinary guy whose life takes a horror-filled turn when he receives a message from his wife, Mia, missing for 3 years, and it leads him to a rundown plantation in rural Louisiana. The mansion looks abandoned, but what you discover inside quickly makes it clear nothing here is normal. Developed and published by Capcom, this game flips the familiar third-person camera of the series into first-person, ramping up the intensity and immersion. Nearly every moment here is built around feeling small, vulnerable, exposed. Resources are tight, threats are constant, and the environment doesn't give you a break. The shift to first-person gives you no buffer. You're right there. The horrors feel immediate. Your own movements echo. A single mistake could mean a chase. It's survival horror distilled to its essence.
What the fuck are you?
Shut up and listen if you want to stay alive. Ethan, you gotta get out of that house.
From the moment you step through the front door in Visage, the house itself becomes the enemy. Developed by Sad Square Studio, this first-person psychological horror game drops you into a huge suburban home riddled with tragedy. No weapons, no safe zone. You'll explore this house, which spans decades of haunting memories. Each room tells a story, a family's breakdown, a child's fear, a man lost in his own mind. The mechanics reflect that. Staying in the dark too long lowers your sanity. Ghostly events happen, doors slam, objects fall. What makes Visage so effective at night is how it turns stillness into tension. The pacing is slow, the sound is minimal, and the dread builds naturally. Even the simplest sound, footsteps above, or something brushing against the wall, can make you stop breathing for a moment. Your mission on the USG Ishimura starts like a normal repair job. You play as Isaac Clarke, an engineer sent to fix a massive mining ship that's suddenly gone silent. But once you step aboard, the crew is gone, the lights are dying, and something inhuman has taken over. Developed by Motive Studio, this remake completely rebuilds the 2008 classic with modern touch. The game's core stays true to its roots: precise limb dismemberment, limited resources, and that constant pressure of being alone in space. The new physics and zero-gravity sections make every encounter unpredictable, forcing you to think fast instead of just shooting your way out. What makes this remake stand out is how modern it feels without losing the tension that defined the original. It's clean, brutal, and full of detail. Dead Space Remake doesn't reinvent the series, it perfects it.
Humanity will be made whole, Mr. Clarke. With or without you.
Isaac, it's me. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
Nicole?
Silent Hill 2 Remake brings back one of the most iconic psychological horror stories ever made. The story follows James Sunderland, a man who returns to the fog-covered town after receiving a letter from his wife. The problem is, she's been dead for years. What he finds isn't closure, but a descent into guilt, loss, and the things people hide from themselves. The story is the same at its core, but everything looks and sounds far more detailed. The new camera brings you closer to the tension, letting you see small movements in the fog or the subtle shifts in enemy behavior. Combat is tighter, exploration feels heavier, and the puzzles return with new physics and lighting effects that make the environments feel real. This isn't a flashy reimagining. It's a careful reconstruction of tension and emotion. By the time you reach the end, it's not fear you feel most. It's sadness that somehow feels too real.
And a corpse can't laugh!
Stay with me. Don't leave me alone again. You're supposed to take care of me.
I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore. I'm ready.
Alien Isolation. Sevastopol Station drifts quietly above a dying planet. It's old, broken, and should have been abandoned. Amanda Ripley boards it looking for answers about her mother. What she finds is something far worse, a perfect predator that never stops hunting. Developed by Creative Assembly and published by Sega, Alien Isolation brings survival horror back to its roots. The xenomorph isn't scripted. It's built with a smart AI that listens, adapts, and searches every corner. Hide too often, and it learns your habits. There's something unsettling about every part of the station. The blinking CRT monitors, the retro machines, the hum of engines. all designed to look like real 1970s tech. Even the motion tracker, your only real tool, can give you away if you use it at the wrong time. The more you rely on it, the more the alien learns.